Hello everybody and welcome back to Asagao Academy. When last we left off, apparently Pro Jared is running some sort of fashion show and he thought Hana would be a good candidate for modeling, and Mai's all up in arms and telling us we're gonna make Jared babies now or something like that. So anyway, seriously, he spent all his time trying to choose between her and some dead chick who only liked him because he looked like her ex-boyfriend. I have no idea what she's talking about, by the way. I mean, who does that? We got our food and hesitated in the middle of the room, looking at the normal boots table. Neither of us wanted to go up and demand a seat, especially after wiggling our way in the day before. What if they changed their minds? But Satch, noticing us standing like lost lambs in the middle of the room, waved us over.
Hey girl.
Hey girl, how was class? Oh, you know, normal? Satch nodded and turned away, having been in the middle of talking to Josh. That was awkward. Despite how familiarly he treated me, I still didn't know how to talk to him, or any of them. I looked across the table and locked eyes with BBG, who stared at me like I was a baby German Shepherd. You...
Alright!
Cookies!
What?
My kind of man. What?
Oh,
You brought us cookies! You're the best, Gerard! Paul sprang out of his chair and practically tackled Gerard. Whoa! Calm down, there's more than enough cookies to go around. Gerard started passing the cookies around the table, but paused. You're back again? He looked at Mai and me. I tried to ignore the disappointment on his face.
Well...
Here! He handed us each a cookie, then headed back across the cafeteria. I stared at the small chocolate chips melting in the warm cookie. Oh god, that sounds so good right now. Did he not want us here? But he was so nice yesterday. I didn't even want to eat the cookie, not if he was going to be as two-faced as that. Give me the cookie. I want the cookie, give me the cookie. Hey! Watch where you're going next time. We're walking. A sheepish Gerard stood next to a short, skinny boy who was holding his tray above his head. I'm sorry. I'll be more careful. Oh, you're from Normal Boots. Wait, you're the guy who plays with itty-bitty kitties, aren't you? The boy sneered. How the hell did you manage to get in with a group like that?
Huh?
They're my friends. Playing with those stupid dolls. You're an embarrassment. The kid's friends were hitting his shoulders, looking from Gerard to our table with panicked eyes.
I like what I like.
I think they're fun. Whatever. The kid was led off by his friends. Gerard came back and sat down at the table. That was weird. Gerard sat down and began happily munching on his cookie, looking for all the world like he didn't even care about what just happened. I scanned the cafeteria for the boy who heckled him and found him sitting alone at a table, head in his hands. His friends left him behind. What was that about? Oh, that? I used to get it all the time. I collect itty-bitty kitty figurines. You know, that kids show with the 5 kittens who live in Kitten Town. I'm gonna watch the show now. They were originally supposed to have magic powers, but... yeah, whatever. I collect the figurines, they're so cute. I've almost got them all. I'm only missing Princess Pumpernickel. She's the rarest. But why was that guy making fun of you? Doesn't it bother you? I was afraid of bringing up bad feelings, but Gerard just shook his head. It looks kind of weird, right? Teenage boy collecting toys meant for little girls.
Uh-huh.
But I like them, so I don't let it bother me. Sorry I didn't bring enough cookies for the first time, Hannah. I forgot that you were joining us again, but I'm glad you're here. I bit my lip. See, Hana? He was being nice the whole time, and here you were jumping to conclusions. Hey, your cookie will get cold if you don't eat it. I unwrapped the cookie. Scents of chocolate and cinnamon hit me. I broke off a piece and popped it in my mouth. Gerard whispered something into Nick's ear. He started laughing so hard milk came out of his nose. Was he really okay with people making fun of him? I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. At my old school, people made fun of me every day. It was hell. There was no way he could just brush it off like that. Not when I tried so hard to do the same. But as I finished the cookie and started on my ramen, and Gerard continued to laugh with the rest of the Normal Boots, I wondered whether it was as impossible as I always thought. Hana, can you pass me some pepper? I got it. Here, Gerard. Thanks. What's your name again? It's Mai.
Nice.
Thanks, Mai. Form. Well, Hana, ready to head back? Huh? Oh yeah. Did Mai look sad, or did I imagine it? We threw our trays on the racks and headed out of the cafeteria. As we waved to normal boots and Gerard cheerily waved back, a sudden pain hit my stomach. Was it guilt? Our after class ended that day, if I could say it right. Mai said she had volleyball practice and sped off. Thankfully, this time I knew where I was going, so I headed straight back and collapsed on my bed. It was nice to have some time to myself. After everything that happened, I felt like I was going crazy. I could use some relaxation. I didn't have a computer or TV, and the book Satch gave me was really good, but sometimes a bit hard to read. Instead, I took out my phone and started flipping through the App Store. Nothing really looked good. Wait, what was this? I sat up. Dumpy Doom's Revenge. Face off against 3 other players as you catch monsters, raise them, and use their unique skills to aid you on your puzzle-solving quest. Only you can save Metaworld from its ignorant king and utter destruction. Now with a single-player campaign. Raise crops to feed your monsters if you're lucky. They'll transform into cute girls. What the hell? It looked so stupid. But it couldn't hurt to give it a try. 12 days later, I downloaded and started up the game. Welcome to Dumpy Doom's Revenge. I skipped the intro sequence and quickly hit single player. Loading. The load times were terrible. Suddenly, a cartoonish hilly valley met my eyes, panning over a white castle nestled next to a cliff. A lazy king lay asleep on a throne when a squat silver soldier ran into the room. King Dumpy Doom, quickly, we're under attack. Oh, just send the 1st Battalion off, please. I'm rather tired. The knight left and the screen faded to a world map showing a horde of black blobs on the right side of the screen. A small group of knights ran up against the blobs and were instantly devoured. One of the black blobs spit out a helmet with a skull inside. What the hell is this game? Things continued in this way, with the king sending off his battalions haphazardly until no one was left. Then the king awoke in his chair and turned to the screen. You! Me? Only you can save my kingdom, please. I don't think I can save your kingdom. You're the one menacing it. How dare you! What the hell? Could this thing hear me? You are no longer my advisor. Go back to your home village and let me deal with this myself. A tiny sprite with brown hair flew across the world map, bouncing into a bunch of red houses. I guess my only choice is to raise an army of monsters myself, overthrow the king, then raise an army to fight the oncoming bloopity-bloobs. Yeah. I guess my only choice is to raise an army of monsters myself, overthrow the king, and then raise an army to fight the oncoming bloopity-bloobs. How the hell did you come to that conclusion? Finally, I was allowed to play the actual game. A dozen multicolored blocks appeared on the screen. The monsters I was initially given only hit their corresponding colors, and I couldn't activate any traps. Supposedly, more monsters would eventually learn how to set traps, and you could certainly do certain combos to hinder the opposing team. If you had an attractive girl on your team, she could use an ability to double the rate of your opponent's blocks, or half their clock time. But that had a drawback for you too, and could be used as an asset by the opponent. Jeez, this has a lot of complications to it, considering it has no visuals. Not to mention that certain color combinations between girls and monsters activated unique secret abilities, and you could also evolve your monsters and feed them things. How the heck am I supposed to remember all of this? I failed the first few times, but quickly got the hang of it. It was just about being adaptable and maintaining a flexible strategy, after all. My eyes started to hurt and I looked at the time. 8 o'clock? It's been 4 hours? I had reading to do. I grabbed my textbook, flicked my radio on, and began to read. There have been many tales of times when the moon has fallen on other planets, the most popular of these being the myth of Termina. However, these myths have never proven to be more than a hallucination. My eyes blurred over my astronomy textbook, and I yawned. No, you gonna make me yawn now. Damn you, game. Stop. Even the mention of yawning makes me yawn. The Schubert piece floating from my radio made me want to go to sleep, and I toyed with the idea of going to class without finishing my reading. Who cared how many times the moon was supposed to fall, especially when time travel was involved? Hana! Mai burst in through the door, flung herself across the room and grabbed my radio. Hey, where have you been? What are you doing? Give me a second, we're missing it. There we go. But I swear, that dog was the living worst. That's why you need a bird like my lovely Jacques. Watch your tongue. What is this? Shh.
Hey.
So, the time has come to make an official announcement. This year, just like every other year, the Normal Boots Club will be participating in the video game tournament.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah! As PBG applauded as though he were a crowd of 30 people, I shot a puzzled glance at Mai. I hope you guys will support us again this year, and best of luck to our competitors. You guys are going down! And now for some music. Mai turned down the radio and sighed. Okay, what did you want? What was that? PB&J, the PPG and John's radio show. They have a radio show? What did they do on it? Oh, you know, they, talk and stuff. And play music, sometimes. Everyone in school listens to it. I'm so glad you brought your radio. I forgot mine at home. And a video game tournament? Yeah, didn't you hear them talking about it the other day? No. Come to think of it, I hadn't paid much attention to their conversations. I was too busy worrying about myself. Every year they have a game tournament down at Higginbottom Mall. Lots of people come to compete, but everybody knows the real fight is between the Normal Boots Club and the Hidden Lock Club. Is that what they do? Video game tournaments? Yeah, that's why nobody's ever joined them since their inception. Well, I guess partly they're a group of friends who just happen to make a club together, but also, unless you're really talented, you just drag them down. Ouch. Not all of them are so harsh, but some of them, well... Mai glanced away, and I felt like I knew who she was talking about. That's too bad. A conversation I had before with Jimmy and Caddy came to mind. Had they really thought I was joining the Normal Boots Club? There was no way. I hadn't played a video game since I was a kid. My father gave me a 40S when I was left home, but... The night before I left home for Asagao, my dad came to visit me in my room. I had packed the few things I owned into a briefcase in a single cardboard box set to be shipped with the train. I sat and stared at the box, somewhat bitter. I barely even needed it. I didn't own much. Hana? Yeah, Dad? My father stood in front of me, a wary smile on his face. Even though he tried to hide it, I could see by the deep wrinkles around his eyes and forehead that he was tired. Sad. These past few years had taken their toll on him, and I hadn't eased things. You'll be leaving tomorrow. Yeah. A heavy silence hung between us, filling my childhood bedroom like styrofoam. Are you excited? Yeah. Yeah, I am. He nodded and glanced around my room at the pale blue walls, the broken clock above my old desk, the scuff marks around the doorframe from where I ran into it as a kid. I lived in this house almost my whole life, ever since moving after kindergarten. It was everything I knew, but now it was too much for me. The decision to transfer to Asagao didn't come lightly. First, it was a prestigious institution with a highly prized reputation. Only the best of the best, touting either great grades, impressive talent, or lots of money, could get in. I was none of those things, but I made it in regardless. Part of me suspected I was a charity case. I received a small scholarship, and it would no doubt look good for the Academy to have fostered a poverty-stricken child in its walls. And despite the fact that my father couldn't afford it, even with the scholarship, he guaranteed he'd support me if I went. I looked again at the wrinkles in his face, at his sagging shoulders. He pressed his hands against his body to hide the way they shook. All for me. He'd be all alone. I'm glad you're going. I think this'll be good for you. Yeah. I wish I could say something else, but nothing came. Well, honey, just in case you get homesick, I brought a present for you. A present? From his pocket, my dad produced a shining pink Nintendo 40S and placed it in my hands. For you. But... Why? How? Dad, this costs so much. You're already killing yourself to let me go. Why would you... Tears spilled from my eyes as my dad smiled. Nothing is too good for you, my dear Hana. His voice was trembling. You're my pride and joy. You deserve so much better than you've gotten from me. Dad! Go to Asagao, have fun, make a lot of friends, and when you get homesick, you play with that. I'll make do. I stood up and hugged him, burying my face in his scratchy sweater and oatmeal smell. I'll miss you. I'll miss you, my little Hana. But the thing is, he forgot to give me a cartridge to play with. Damn it, Dad! Now I glanced at the machine hidden behind my desk lamp. Mai watched me carefully. Well, you never know what could happen. What? What do you mean? Mai giggled. Nothing at all. But I just got back, so I've got work to do. Work, right! PBG and I still had that project due, and we hadn't met to discuss it at all. He said he had it under control, but I should probably make a backup plan, just in case. It wasn't that I didn't trust him, it was just that... Okay, I didn't trust him. Sighing, I worked a kink out of my shoulder. It looked like it would be a long night. But we will find out who is behind that door knock in the next episode. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. That took a little bit of a twist there, a nice little flashback. I thought that was really nice and neat. We're finding out a little bit more about Hana, which I think is really cool. So we'll have to find out more about it next time. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you're thinking of the game so far. And as always, I'm TC Robson. Stay obsessed.